We've got no choice. Call the Ghostbusters.
Vigo, the scourge of Carpathia, the sorrow of Moldavia, command.
Oh, command me, Lord!
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
All right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Hudson Valley Slime Time. I'm Jason. I'm not only one of your hosts, but I am also the marketing director of the Hudson Valley Ghostbusters. I'm joined here with my co-host, Matt.
Hello, everybody. My name is Matt. I am the executive director and co-founder of Hudson Valley Ghostbusters and your podcast host for the day.
And we are also joined with Steve and Joe, who are other fellow members of the Hudson Valley Ghostbusters. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you guys have a good time tonight.
Definitely.
We're looking forward to it.
I was going to say, don't forget to talk. All right, Matt, you want to give a little insight about us real quick?
Yes, so we are collectively just a small part of Hudson Valley Ghostbusters. That is a non-profit cosplay group. We raise money for charity by doing different events throughout the Hudson Valley area. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about what we do, you can check out our website, hvgb.org, or you can go back to our earlier episode, I think 1, 2, and 3, where we go into more detail about what we do.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you. That is all. I'm done. All right. Well, we've already, it's unbelievable, but we're a week and a half into June already. We've done a couple events. One of the first event we did this month, being Pride Month, is we did the Pride Parade down in New Paltz. That was a lot of fun. Hot.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
A lot of fun, though.
I think we were all there for it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yep, we got to roll out a new Ecto in our.
Yeah, I think we agree that's the Ecto transport vehicle.
Yes.
Personnel carrier.
Yeah, because John had about, 6 or 7 Ghostbusters and their gear in it.
You know what? It definitely helped out because Slime 1 don't have the capacity, so.
I'm not riding on top again, Jason.
I'm not putting handles on, so you got to hold on easy. Yeah, so that was fun. We realized they got a huge field down at the end of the parade route where they got a lot of vendors and stuff, so hopefully next year we'll look into setting up, we'll join in the festivities.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd look forward to that.
And then another thing we did, Ghostbusters Day. It's past Saturday, June 8th. A whole bunch of us, I think there was 9 of us, went down to New York City, got to go down to the firehouse, celebrate with, I think the head count, the Buffalo Ghostbusters said was somewhere over 1,000 people, but I'm not sure if that was just 1,000 people bought merchandise or if, so. Because it was, I would say it was probably well over that.
I saw. Every photo I saw was
it was more than it was more than I'd ever seen there. This is, I think, my 3rd or 4th, and it was, walled, not walled, it was building to building. The entire street at the beginning was packed.
Yes, yeah, they had that whole street right in front closed, and yeah. Like I said, we'll go more into depth about that in a little bit, and then you want to give a little heads up on what we got coming up here, Matt?
Okay, and upcoming events for the rest of June. Coming up at the time we're speaking, this coming weekend, Saturday, June 15th, we will be at the Monroe Food Truck Festival from 11 to 5. This is probably our half-dozen time returning. We love doing that event every year. They do it twice a year, actually. We usually always do it. The following weekend, on June 22nd, we'll be doing another parade. We will be in Hudson, New York, doing the Out Hudson Pride Parade. That one's a lot of fun. We did that for the first time last year, and that was a ton of fun. And for any other events that we do, we have a couple on the books that may or may not come up. All proceeds that we raise in the month of June will go to Pride-related events. We donate to Glisten, and we are always looking for more local Pride foundations to raise money for. So if anyone's listening, you know a Pride foundation that we could raise money for in the month of June, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody has any events, don't hesitate to reach out to us about any kind of fundraising. All right, so Ghostbusters Day. So yes, we were down in New York City. Pete, James, and I went down to New York City. We all decided we'll take the train because we figured, it'll be nice and easy. So we went down to Beacon. I think we got to the train station like before 7 a.m. because we were hoping to get down to meet a bunch of the Ghostbusters early. We were supposed to grab some bagels and have like a pre-event tour. And so we got there, we're on the platform, and the train never comes. All of a sudden we're hearing, the train's delayed. And the train was delayed an hour. So we got down an hour late. We missed bagels. It's very disappointing. I mean, it was still fun to get down there. We did catch the tail end of the tour, so we got to see a couple of the sites. One of the first sites we actually got to see was the, I forget what the building was, but it was where the Ghostbusters were lining up with all the police and the National Guard. And that's when Pete gives his ultimate line of, all right, let's run some red lights, and they all come filing out from inside the buildings there. So I got a good picture of that. So that was pretty cool. The first Ecto I got to see, I think it was the Ecto 1 from the 2016's Answer the Call. So it was the first.
That's New York City.
It was actually
Ecto,
really
right?
cool.
Yeah,
I think so because Ryan was driving it. So, but that was pretty cool to get to see. Saw a bunch of the other franchises have their Ectos there too, and some of them were lucky enough to get parking spots close to the firehouse and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I don't know how the Yellow Rose. I think it's the Yellow Rose Ghostbusters from Texas, and
right,
they
yeah.
were able to get their Ecto literally in a parking spot on the road right next to the firehouse.
Like, just luck, I
how
guess.
did you
They're
guys
getting
get
out
that?
there yesterday.
Yeah, right. And they
Nope.
just kept paying the meters or whatever for 24 hours to make sure they had the same spot.
I
It's
think
funny. It was
either
in
they
the.
were- Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Joe.
No, what I was going to say, it was in the exact same spot where last summer when they were filming at the firehouse, and there was the actual Ecto 1 was there. They were parked in the same spot as that,
Really?
or like maybe a couple feet different. Yeah, I was going to try to. I wasn't sure whose that was, but I wanted to send them a picture.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty
it's
sure
like
it was
all
the Yellow
those
Rose
pictures.
because they actually had it on the windshield. I think it said Yellow Rose, and they had Texas plates. So
When I got there later in the day just due to traffic, but I'm driving down the city trying to get to parking, and I see an Ecto in front of me, and my brother's with me, and I'm just like, we must be close. And then I watch them pull in and park right in front of the firehouse. Meanwhile, the firehouse just comes up on us, and I found a video of like, you see the Ecto drive by, and I'm looking in the background. That's my car. I'm just driving. You can see me in the window looking at them out the side. But,
oh, so you pulled up basically as the three Ectos were pulling in.
so this was when the Texas one showed up on the side there, because they showed up late. I think if we're thinking the same one, right outside the firehouse, right next to it.
No,
So-
that was. I'm pretty sure that was their like first thing, if I remember correctly. But there was so much going on. My memory
Sure.
and reading all the posts afterwards, I'm so upset because I know a bunch of us missed a lot of stuff that was going on down there, and just it was hard to focus because there was so much going on.
So much going on. Yeah, oh yeah.
When I
Yep.
first walked up, we walked up to the. We came right up to the behind of the merchandise line. And I was like, man, this line's way too long because we were like right at the gate where it starts to S before it goes into the firehouse. And all of us were like, yeah, we're not going to wait here. We just got here. We want to go check everything out. So, we actually met up with Steve and Nancy. And, they're like, yeah, let's go check everything out. So we walked around front, which knowing now I should have stayed on that line because when I finally did go to get on that line to get merch, it was literally completely around the block, almost back to the. So it almost did a complete circle from the entrance to the exit. Live and learn. But I did get your challenge coin, Matt.
Thank you very much.
That wasn't the only reason I stayed on the line, but it was definitely one of them. It was great. I mean, I could not believe the amount of people there. We got to meet so many people. I spent a lot of time talking to the Memphis Ghostbusters. Their logo is really cool because it actually has Elvis in it. I got
I
their
don't think I've ever seen that one.
I should have had this ready. They were saying they're actually fairly new. It's got their logo's got Elvis in it,
Very
and they
nice.
actually he did a
But Elvis isn't dead.
he did a version of like the Ghostbusters 2 logo, and instead of having the bar across in front, he's holding a guitar, which was also pretty
clever.
cool.
I like that.
Boy, but yeah, there was, like I said, there was so much going on. You couldn't focus, and there was so many people giving stuff out. And I'm walking around, and there's this one guy handing out patches and pins, and he's handing out HasLab stuff. And I didn't give any thought about it because, like I said, I'm just like overwhelmed by everything that's going on. And then I think it was on the train going home, somebody posted, "Hey, HasLab was there," and they were showing off the 2-in-a-box setup. And
I happened
and
to be
we're all
scrolling
like,
through Facebook,
"What?"
and I saw that they were there, and I'm like, did anybody see them? Apparently they snuck in.
I mean, they were walking around.
The contingent. I ran into like a big group of them somewhere towards the beginning. But the guy that had the stuff was obviously not there. There was one of the guys that I met also last year at Comic-Con. They were there too. One of the guys that was there. He's one of the designers, and he was one of the people handing the stuff out. And he said that there's a guy walking around with the stuff, but they had no idea where he was. I kept my eyes open for him, and he was rocking a HasLab shirt under his jumpsuit. So, but
well, yeah, thinking about it, the guy had a HasLab patch on his shoulder, and everything. But I mean, there's so many people have all these different versions, so you don't think about it. But then I went back and watched the video, and I'm like, that's the guy that gave me the patch and pin. I was like, and then I didn't realize too. I don't know if I'll post. Maybe I can post a better picture of it. But the HasLab low pin and everything he sent out actually has the tire and wheel of the Ecto 1 around him, and it's not the, it's not the typical red circle. And then I think it was Tuesday or what? HasLab made the announcement that they have a teaser for the next HasLab project, and they teased the that logo with the Ecto 1 wheel. So then,
classic Hasbro teaser of a teaser. We Ghostbusters fans love that.
Let speculation begin.
But again, it's like I was so overwhelmed with everything, like I wasn't picking up like who I was talking to, who was giving stuff out, and then you find out later on, it's like all these other people were there. They
probably snuck in because they knew if people knew they were there, they would be swarmed.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Because everyone want to be checking out.
I know Emily was there from HasLab too, but I didn't see her either.
Yeah, I saw her finally in pictures after the fact, but then I realized I was like, oh, the guy that was handing out the stickers and pins was the same guy that you see in the videos presenting the stuff. I'm like, man.
You were so close.
I have to go, yeah. Well, that was the problem. This year was the first time I was ever down at the firehouse, so I was a little awestruck. I told Pete at one point, I pulled him aside, I'm like, dude, I am like geeking out big time here. I was like,
I was the same way. So I grew up down in Westchester County my whole life, spent a lot of time in the city. Never went to the firehouse as much as I can remember as a kid growing up as a Ghostbuster fan. Neither had my brother, and we're driving there. I'm surprised we didn't get into an accident as we're driving by the firehouse that I didn't like slam on the brakes to stop and look. And then we're walking up and just like taking in the scene and just like trying to figure out all the cars, all the Ectos, and just kind of like, I think we were both awestruck for a few minutes before we were like, all right, let's try to take this all in, take some pictures and have a good time.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, there was 3 Ecto 1s there. One of them had a gunner seat. The Ecto 1 New Jersey was there, which I was ecstatic that the guy let me sit inside it. I just wish I had gotten a picture of it.
The Ecto 1A didn't make it, right? They couldn't make it for some reason?
No, something happened, and they pulled out like a day or two ahead of time or something like that for some reason.
Yeah. They posted an apology.
Was telling me, yeah, they were working on that up until like the last minute, and they couldn't quite finish it.
Okay, so something was up.
Yeah,
there's a lot more electronics in that car.
Yeah, you need your own little arc reactor in there to power everything.
Or maybe at least one extra battery.
They had the typical festivities going on. They had the bands there playing music and stuff like that, and I'm listening. And again, like I said, I'm just enveloped in everything that's going on, and the music comes on, and they're playing, and all of a sudden, they play the the song "Saving the Day," and I'm like, damn, these guys are good. They're playing this song really good. And then Pete's like, yeah, that's the Ulysses brothers. They're the guys that actually played that song. And I was like, duh, yeah, that's why they're doing it so good.
They sound just like the guys in the soundtrack.
Like I said, there was just so much going on, but then we wound up sitting. Like I said, I wound up getting online and waiting. I think I waited 2.5 plus hours on that merchandise line.
Man.
But it was
I don't know if I
well
could've
worth it
done
because that was when we got to spend a lot of time talking. What's that?
I don't know if I could have done that. I might be too impatient for that.
Well, what helped was we were surrounded by other Ghostbusters. Like I said, the Memphis Ghostbusters are there. We were talking to them. Who was the other group I was talking to? There were a couple new groups, so we were trying to help give them information and stuff like that. The Research Triangle Ghostbusters, and I forget where they're from now. I'd have to look it up. But they had a cool logo with the DNA sequence across the.
Okay. I love seeing the variation to the logo.
Yeah, it got a lot of great stuff. I think this is probably my prize patch that I picked up over the weekend. In celebration of Facebook taking down our page.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I saw Pete got one, and I was like, "Where did you get that?" And he's like, "So-and-so over here." And I went over, and thankfully he gave me one. You can't get one. I think he's selling them on Etsy.
I was just amazed because when I got there, I met up with Pete and Corey, and I think you were and Joe, and just Pete knows everybody, it seems like. And we're talking, next thing you know, he's like, "Meet this guy, he's from the UK, from this Ghostbuster group, and this so-and-so from this group." And it's just like, for me, it's like people that I follow them on like Instagram or social media because they're other Ghostbuster groups now, like their posts and their pictures. And I'm just like, you're real. This is a real person. And, one of our, Pete knows him, and I'm talking to you now. And it's, and then later just randomly like you were talking about, just randomly talking to other people there about different franchises, where they're from, their shared experiences. It was really cool just to kind of get that, different perspective.
Yeah, I mean there was Ghostbuster groups there from Europe. I even want to say there was at least one from Australia was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw them, but somebody had mentioned that there was an Australian group there, and I don't think you can get any farther away.
Yeah. There was what other ones? There was Spain. There was Italy. UK.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a couple of their patches.
And some from Canada.
Yeah, Joe, that's the one thing I regret. I saw you getting patches a week before, not bringing something like that to trade or to give out to people. Myself being the first time going to it, it's like, next year.
Yes.
I gotta come up with something or bring something with me, because it's just to have that memorabilia just from other places. Just I think is cool.
Yeah, there was actually when we were waiting on the train station in Beacon, saw a family getting up on the platform, and they all had the 40th anniversary Ghostbuster T-shirts on, and their little son actually had the suit on. I'm like, oh, that's cool, like here it is, 7:00 in the morning in Beacon, and we're running into other Ghostbuster fans getting on the train, and they came up to us, and apparently he was having his 6th birthday party, and they were going down to New York City for Ghostbusters Day, and we were the first people he actually gave out. It was for Aiden's 6th birthday.
Nice.
He actually had patches made, and they were giving them out to everybody, and I thought that was
Best
really
birthday
cool.
Ever.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is made that kid's day. That's all you can think about is how awesome that 6th birthday was.
Yeah, but like you said, I'm like
assuming
everybody's
Pete gave him a
handing
business
out
card.
all this. He did. He gave a business card to I think that one of the parents or something like that. So
For next year's birthday.
Yes,
He better, because I gave him
want
a
to do
snack
something at
of them.
home. He was definitely handing them out. He was handing them out on the train, and the subway. Anytime somebody asked about us, he's like, flip them out. He's like, here.
Oh, that explains all those weird phone calls I've been getting.
He did write your personal phone number on.
Yeah, that was on the seat of the C train. Don't worry, it'll be fine.
But definitely for next year, I got to come up with something because I had so much fun. I would definitely love to keep going down, making an annual event, but getting something that we can give out to people. I actually thought it'd be great to print out a whole bunch of Corey stickers. Who are you going to call?
You got to get there early before he arrives and give them out, and then people will double
Just
take
have 'em.
now they have his sticker, and they'll see him, and they'll just be. Yeah.
They'll start treating him like he's a celebrity. Like, wait, I've seen him before. Yeah, that would be great.
I got a chance. I completely emptied my prize trap over the event as well. I think you guys mostly know it. I have a soft. What is it? It's almost looks like a toiletry bag or something like that. That looks like a trap that I bring to cons and to this stuff, and I always keep it full of Mostly those. What are the Hasbro soft clip-on like ghosts? Like was a Stay Puft and a Slimer and a
like
and
little
a
keychain,
Zool.
trinket
Yeah,
type
those
thing.
things. So I keep as many as I can fit in there, carry it around, and usually at cons and stuff. If I see a kid that's dressed up as a Ghostbuster at a con, well, they get one. Here, everyone was. I had to up my criteria a little bit, but there was some. If I saw someone that really looked like they put in some extra effort, I was handing those out, and I cleaned. I've never given out so many, and that was just so much fun, and it helped us get our one voluntary donation while we were down there too, from a very thankful father. So
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, that was a lot of fun. It's fun to see all of us adults do it, but to see the next generation dressing up and getting into it, and how many of the parents are like, they're talking about their kids saying he's nuts about Ghostbusters, and I'm like, how did you even find it? Like, I get there's new movies now, but it's like for them to be so into it, and know the lines and it's some of them putting real effort into their packs and stuff. It's so heartwarming.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw, there was a family that showed up, and I saw them while I was waiting online, and the father was pushing like a little Tykes car, and they had it completely done up like the Ecto one.
Yeah.
I saw the picture of that. That was cool.
That was amazing to see. There was a lot of little kids there, and they were all having fun.
Well, I found it amusing. There at the event, we were like, it was myself and Corey, and as I mentioned, my brother came down, and people were stopping us. The three of us were just standing there and taking pictures with us, and and I was talking to Corey, and it was just like, what about the three of us is making people want to specifically stop to take pictures with us? But are they doing it with all the groups of Ghostbusters? But it was. Corey's was specific. It's, we just look that good. We're just the three of us together, looked like a fine group of gentlemen. So it was, but it was just amusing to us, and it's fun to see people getting into it, even with such a crowd, and trying to get different photos with different people from different organizations and groups. It was a lot of fun. I've been still looking at social media posts and trying to find us and myself and random pictures, and it's been several days.
Right.
So I got yelled at. I got too many. The Ghostbuster sounds playing all the time because I'm on different Instagram posts or Facebook posts. And
it's hard to remember what we've been doing, what we did down there. You have to think back about it, and you said, pictures help remember what you were doing, what you saw.
Well, one cool experience I had with that, with people taking pictures, is I was hanging out with a friend of mine who's not into necessarily Ghostbusters. He's a fan, but he wasn't dressed up. That I used to work with. He was there, and we were talking for a while. And he was, so I can make my pack smoke, when it's cooling down or whatever. And so I was just triggering that the whole time I was there, here and there, whenever, especially if I saw kids walking by, I'd trigger it, and you catch them as they turn around and look at it, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Plus, it's loud. But then, I was there with my friend. He was fascinated by it as well. But as we're talking, he would start signaling me when he saw kids walking up, behind me. And at one point, he's like, "Oh wait, someone's taking video. Trigger your thing again." So I do that, and I turn around, after it goes, and I turn around, and it's one of the Alessi brothers, and he's standing there taking video. And he's there with his son, and his son's Dad. They're just pointing and I was like, I'll do it again. So I turned around and did it again, and he's just he was saying, he's like, that's great. And he's like, the sounds coming off that thing are incredible. I wanted to get all that on video or whatever. And then I asked, politely if we could take a picture, and he was like, oh yeah, I've just spent 5 minutes taking pictures of your back. He's like, let's take a picture. He was really nice. But yeah, he was there with his son, and we chatted for a couple minutes before he had to run, I think, back into the firehouse to do some autographs and stuff. But just a cool experience of just running into people. Just everyone was in such a great mood.
Yeah.
Everyone was just enjoying themselves.
And it was amazing to find out again after the fact that some of the people who did show up, that just on a whim wound up showing up.
Yeah.
Harold Ramis's wife wound up showing up when she was there for a while. And Pete's going to be
Was
mad,
there
but I can't
anyone-
remember his name. But the
Was
truck.
there anyone wearing like anything that covered their face? Because that was probably Bill Murray.
No, I don't remember seeing anybody with like face coverings. There was one Ghostbuster who had this amazing green face paint on, and I
Oh yeah, I saw
think
that.
he
That
was he going
really
for like
cool.
a Slimer haunted
No,
look
that
or
was,
something? I'm not sure exactly what he was,
People Busters from
or was he?
the Real Ghostbusters episode.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I haven't watched a lot of the
Or
cartoons.
it's actually,
So
no, that was the
I
episode
gotta
where their suits become contaminated with PKE energy, and then they come to life, and it looks like them, just ghost version.
okay, yeah, because
I'll send you a
I have
photo to
I got
put
a
up.
picture of him,
Yeah, so I'll send you a photo of that, and you can do a comparison.
but he looked great. You know, there was a lot of work done on his makeup alone. Not counting his suit and everything else. But then there was the truck driver from the closing credits scene at the,
Yeah, I saw
at the end
you
of
got a photo with him.
Frozen Empire. I think Pete pointed him out as we were leaving at the end of the day. That was he was super nice. I mean, he was out talking to everybody, getting people pictures, autographs, everything, and he was just mingling with the crowd.
Yeah, and like a minor celebrity. I again was awestruck because a lot of you guys know I built my pack with an Arduino for the electrical system, and there's a YouTube channel that has a phenomenal tutorial on how to use the codes and how to set up the. So I'm walking around and I look over, and out of the corner of my eye I see the guy who does the tutorial video. He runs the Facebook group on it. And I just like go over to him. Are you? His YouTube name is a Wholesome Joe, and I was like, "Are you Wholesome Joe?" And he was like, "Yeah." And so we're talking about the whole system and and like the Arduino, and I'm just thanking him for the videos, because if it wasn't for the videos, I would never have gotten sounds and electronics in my packs. And so we were talking for a little while, and just great to actually meet somebody who helped me on my journey, and like thank him in person for what he did, and actually running into him there. Was phenomenal. It was just a great. For me, I felt really good about it because it was like I could, you could like a fake an Instagram post or a YouTube story or whatever, but to actually thank somebody, shake their hand for the work they've done it felt really good. So that was really stuck out to me.
A lot of people I don't think realize that the firehouse down there is a fully functioning, full-time working firehouse. Because I was talking to somebody at work the other day, and they're like, "Oh, you went down to the firehouse? That's still there? Is that, is it? I thought that was abandoned." I was like, "No, it's a fully functioning, working firehouse."
I think if I remember
understanding
right,
is-
they've had a call every year that we've been there too.
There was two. They had two
Yeah.
when we were there. One at the end of the day, and then one about, I don't know, halfway through or something.
They're very welcoming to Ghostbusters fans, even on days when it's not Ghostbusters Day. But
Yeah.
just obviously don't get in their way because they have a job to do still.
Yeah, I mean, they had a table set up inside there with all their shirts and stuff like that, and I was hoping to grab one of their shirts, but unfortunately they didn't have my size. Like I said, it was 2.5, 3 hours before I was able to get into there. And it's really cool that they embrace the whole Ghostbusters thing, which just makes it that much better. I mean, they got to bring in a lot of funding just with the added Ghostbusters twist to their station and stuff.
I hear, like every day there's at least 2 or 3 people that will walk up, like tourists. There's just enough tourists that go to New York City that 2 or 3 a day, every day, at least. And they sell some of the other stuff like year round. As long as they're not busy and the person that kind of manages it is around, they'll sell that stuff. So the thing I love is that they finally got the sign. I don't know if it's going to stay that way, but they got the sign out the way it should be.
Yep.
It brings just so much.
Yeah.
Like, it was nice when they got it and they put it in the window, but now that they're hanging it right, like, that's just awesome.
So I'm not sure if that's going to be something that they're going to keep hanging up all the time or just put out for special occasions, because you keep it out, you don't want to get it ruined by vandals or just the weather and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, when Buffalo got that made for them, they designed it to be put out like they use this whatever plastic or whatever that's supposed to be like weatherproof or whatever. And the original idea was they wanted it hung like that. But then they couldn't get permission from the city because it's a historic building, so you can't. New York's super sensitive about that stuff with changing stuff. So they had then put it in the window, just flat up against the building, basically.
Okay.
But now, since the movie came out, they changed it. Like, it was basically they changed it right about when they did up the building for Frozen Empire and they put all that fake ice and stuff around. They put it up and hung it up the right way, and it's staying that way. So
They need to take very, very good care of it because our team helped pay for that new sign.
yeah.
Did we send a? We did send a.
Oh yeah,
donation
our name's on
down
the
for
plaque in
that?
there. Mm-hmm.
I got a picture of the plaque, but I don't think it's good enough to be able to zoom in on it.
Oh yeah, our
I did
team's
get a
on there.
picture of all the patches and the wall there with everything on it, and I found our patch, and it was just too much to take in one day. Believe it or not, it was just crazy.
100%. Even only being there for the few hours or hours there, it was just like to still decompress and to think about everything that happened in that short amount of time was it's hard to think about, but it is. As I would, even though I drove down that morning and hit traffic, and it took me like almost 4 hours to get down, it was like totally worth it. I'll do it again. Do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'll probably stick to taking the train down unless I can guarantee a parking spot for Slime 1 right next to the building or something. Then I'll risk bringing it down.
Yeah, they do that again in the contest.
Like I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the Pride Parade and New Paltz there, Slime 1 does not have any air conditioning, so when it's hot out, it's not comfortable when you're sitting in traffic. You kind of roast a
wear
little
that
bit.
nice cooling jumpsuit. That thing breathes
I'll have
so
to
well.
build in a cooling system like the NASCAR race car drivers have. Pipe some, cooling water around my body to help cool me off in there or something.
That'll be the next upgrade.
And actually, speaking of gear, do we want to move on to talking about our some equipment? Joe, Steve, you guys both have some cool stuff to talk about.
Sure. Joe, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I guess it's always good to start, with the pack.
Yeah.
I've got a couple. I've got an 80% spirit pack that I've customized mostly for my daughter. It's rocking new electronics and stuff, and so it looks and sounds pretty good. But the real my crown jewel is my former HasLab pack, just because it's basically just the shell of HasLab at this point.
The Proton pack, formerly known as HasLab.
Because everything's been changed in that thing. I'm on version, I've upgraded upgrades in that pack at this point. It's running. I think JC mentioned right Siri. It's running.
Can't help you update your pack.
Yeah, she's like, can I help? No, so it's running the GP Star system in it. So that's both the pack and the wand, which is. I can't. I mean, my hats are off to those guys. Those are geniuses in terms of this. Not only did they do their own boards, but the amount of change and upgrades to their software make this pack just better and better all the time. We're on version at the time of this. I think they're prepping version 5.3 or something. And I mean, there's a new update and new features and changing of features, and they take lots of suggestions from people every couple weeks. There's something new.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that several of the changes were directly a result of your communications too.
Yeah,
we're pretty certain you're the reason they have a field manual. That's got to be from you.
that was one of my that was a suggestion I had early on, just because it's so I don't know, not that. I was trying to convince them to make that pocket sized or something.
I don't think you can make that any smaller.
There's menus and sub menus and all this stuff just to hide. I have it all written up on my phone and stuff in a notepad just so I can find everything, because you have to do it just using the dials and the LCD generally on the wand. You use it to remember this many dots and this and whatever sub menu, and which button do you push to enable or disable any of the features. But what they allow you to do is just do all of that, and I've since I did an upgrade of the cyclotron in it, and at first I had, I think, a 12 LED one. Now I've got the 36 LED cyclotron. So, that's just like an upgrade on an upgrade. I've got a smoke system in it from CNA Props, which is awesome. I want to add a second smoke system to it out of the booster tube in the top. That's one of my next projects. And then I'm completely redoing my wand as well. I'm moving from a Spengler to a 1984 Asper wand. And just because. So there's just, it's never ending. And they keep changing and adding new features to it as well. So there's just no end to how it's going to be. So that's great. The other stuff, I don't get to show them off very often, but I have Vigo. I took, this isn't, certainly, I don't think it was fully my idea. And actually the video I use is from one of the European groups, but I have a television with Vigo that plays they have a 40-minute loop of him doing a bunch of stuff. That was my version 1 of that, but since then I did a version 2 with, now it's running a, what do they call it, a Medeawiz Sprite, which is a triggerable video system. So I have a remote control, and I can trigger up to 8 different parts of the video. So he just would be standing up there doing nothing if I don't do anything, but then I can hit buttons when people walk up to it and have him, Vigo out at them.
And usually at like a Comic-Con or something, that's just sitting on the table, and all of us know, just press a button, Vigo will do something.
Yeah.
We don't know which button does what, but
I try to trigger it whenever Matt's working underneath it, and
yeah, Vigo and I are unfortunately very close.
But that's so yeah.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, Vigo's another good one. What else? I mean, I like going after the more like eclectic things. Like I kind of put now that HasLab's doing their Trap and PKE, I'm really happy because I'm actually put those. I stopped working on all of mine of those. I was like, they're going to give me great ones. I don't need to upgrade mine. I want to work on other stuff. So I made a dancing toaster along with Vigo. So the toaster comes out to cons and stuff as well, generally. And it's wireless. Again, I have triggers that I either keep on my suit or in my pocket or something. And when someone walks up to it or a good song comes on, I can get it to jump up and down. On the table and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
I love playing with the kids with that because I'll be like, what did the kid will see it jump and I'll be like, what'd you do? I didn't do anything.
So
or they do that double take.
It's just those are some of the more interesting ones. Other things I've built. I love to play around my 3D printer and just other making stuff. So I've built myself a sniffer and a few other. I'm working on a few other things right now. And then the most recent build, I guess, is going to be I'm sort of making my. I'm kind of ectifying my car, but in a because it's other. My wife uses it as well. It's not going to be a permanent ectifying of it. It's going to be a convertible, let's just say. So,
all right. Well, I thought this was going to be kept under wraps, or are we just going to keep
No,
the appearance?
I don't mind.
Just going to keep the appearance under the wraps.
The appearance and some of the feature set of it under wraps, except for a small cadre of individuals who may not be named, who are going to be assisting me with just some, taste making and ideas. But otherwise, I hope to unveil that at our company picnic, which maybe we'll talk about. But
you got about a month and a half.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think I can get there. At least version 1, I can get there. Version 1.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of stuff coming in.
Like everything else, it's always going to be never ending and always changing and stuff. So.
Yeah. Oh, it's upgrades on upgrades. So over to you, Steve.
All right. Yeah. So I'll start with the pack 2. So I have 2 packs. There's one behind me, and I'm sure we'll post pictures of both of them. Both my packs are fully 3D printed, minus odds and ends, some of the tubings, the found fittings. They use a free set of files known as the Q pack. My first pack was their Mark III that I really just made as I have a 3D printer. I want to do a cool project. Let me start building a proton pack. I've always wanted one. And then I fell down the rabbit hole of, well, now that I have a proton pack, how do I do the electronics? And this was a year and a half or so before I even, heard about Hudson Valley and got involved with any groups or really was on, Facebook groups for different builds. So I was kind of on an island. So when I started finding things, that's what I started to build it towards. So luckily a lot of references online for my first pack. Went with the electronics with the Arduino system like I mentioned before, so did all the wiring myself for lights and sound for the pack. And that was my first 3D printed Ghostbuster prop was that original pack. I then started working on, you can see behind me too, and I'll post some pictures of belt gizmo, also 3D printed. Uses a pretty simple electronic, uses one of those twinkle lights. I just rewired it with red LEDs. So it has that the red LED look to it, but nothing too crazy. I keep the little battery pack in my pocket. So it's not the most, sometimes if I forget when I take off my belt at the end of the day, I'm still stuck to me as it's zipped closed in my pocket, and I have yet to tear out the wire, but if worst comes to worst, I'm thinking about upgrading that a little bit, maybe with some different capabilities out of my 3D printer. I can do it a little bit differently and maybe try to simplify the electronics. I then built a PKE meter that is also 3D printed, the body, those files. And then I used a company called Pixel Prop has the boards that you can get and source the motors and the other items. So again, it is technically Arduino based. It's just what they run it off of, but using their code, doing the wiring myself, the soldering and all that fun stuff. If you like to do that stuff, which before I built my first pack, I would say I didn't. And then when I built my first pack, I was like, oh, I remember how to do this from a long time ago. That is it works too. The arms open, the lights change, sound effects. Their code and those files are phenomenal, and the print files were phenomenal there too. And then when I joined Hudson Valley, the new movie was coming out, Frozen Empire, and I was thinking about building a new pack. My original pack had, I wouldn't say design flaws, but I rushed it to get it done in time for things like Halloween and such at that year. So I wanted something a little more robust, knowing that I would be taking it out into the world more often, and hopefully it wouldn't fall apart or fall off my back. So that's where I built my second pack, which is behind me. And right around the time when I was considering that, the Frozen Empire, some of the preview stuff started coming out. So I decided, instead of doing an Afterlife style pack, I decided to go with the Frozen Empire style.
And
again,
I was amazed you got that done in time for the premiere, like just from photos.
Yeah, that was. I started that, I think, the build in early December of last year, and it was ready to go, I think, for our first event in, was that March this year, the Kid Expo?
Yeah, the Kids Expo. March.
So yeah, I was luckily. So I don't have. So again, 3D printed, and all of it's sanded, painted, primed myself. Again, an Arduino system, just from what I had available. I had leftover parts from the first build, so I decided just save some money. And yeah, luckily we had some nice days in January up here that I could be outside sanding and spray painting and getting the texture all right. Otherwise, that would not have happened. Because I don't have a great environment to do that inside, but it came together really well, and it gives me, it has the tri bumper, you can see the yellow, and I'll send you a picture on that. But,
that was something that when I first saw, I was a little hesitant about, like the tri bumper, and the more you look at it, the more I'm like, it actually looks really good. I do like that concept now. It's kind of growing on me, because it breaks up the colors down there. And
yeah, I like.
I'm glad they're calling it the tri bumper. I don't like its other name.
I wasn't gonna. Yeah,
I like tri bumper.
I do too. It reminds me. So I have one of my dogs is a tripod, so it reminds me of her. So that's why I'll keep calling it the tri bumper. But that was the second build pack, and like I said, I got it done in a few months. Do not recommend that. As one of my dogs is deciding to come into the shot behind me. But I don't, take your time building your props. I got lucky with some of the time to get that done. And I built the ecto goggles and a trap. Those are all 3D printed electronics. The trap, I got a kit. And the ecto goggles, I just kind of threw some LEDs and a battery pack in, and it looks pretty cool. I don't wear it on my forehead because it's not that comfortable to wear. But I'll wear it on my belt from time to time.
Yep. You've
and
also
then
got that
the last thing I guess
little guy next to you.
Yeah, my fourth child. So I have 3 dogs and I have Pukey here. Pukey is also 3D printed. He came together, or it came together pretty quickly. Luckily, I think it's the Ghostbusters of Germany posted the files for free of the 3D model. So printed him out, primed him up, painted him. Had him ready for Saratoga Comic Con. So he freaks out my girlfriend a little bit. So I have to keep him in closets or randomly put him around the house when she's not looking.
That's what I was going to suggest. Like at night, just move him around a little bit and just.
I agree with that too. I just I like having a nice relationship and not being in trouble. But no, he's fun. He's fully 3D printed PLA, and he painted spray painted. Used some model paints on him to get the colors, and he's a nice size. Yeah, he's a fun little guy. We had him out at Saratoga.
He's great.
And
yeah, he was a big hit at Saratoga.
Yeah. You should have him like on a with a plaque and everything. He's that good. He's museum quality.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Which to tie it back to Ghostbusters Day, I did see some people with the Pukey, but a few people stopped me on this pack specifically, and were commenting on like how clean it looked, and I really appreciate it because we put a lot of work into our stuff, and we all know the little errors, the little defects, and I could have done it better. Mm-hmm. And then when folks in the community are complimenting you on what you're doing, it validates. It gives you a little bit of validation on maybe I don't know what I'm doing, but I figured out enough to make it look fun and look good. So.
Yeah, we do. We know all our defects, and those are the ones that stand out to us. But like you said, when other people point it out, they don't see that stuff. They just see the finished product and how great it looks. And I mean, everybody's has amazing stuff. Just keeps impressing me more and more.
Yeah, we've got an impressive collection of builders in our team.
We're gonna need to rent a space somewhere so we can just store it and put it on display, and we can have a nice little museum or something like that.
If anyone sees a firehouse come up for sale.
Hey, I did point one out. Was it like 2 years ago? The one in Hudson came up for sale, and it was similar
over $1 million,
styling
Jay.
as the one in details. 1.6 million. I mean, come on. There's 30 of us now. We can split it.
We're not for profit. Maybe they give us a deal.
Yeah. We get a GoFundMe, crowdsource it. It'd be fun. We'll get there.
Yeah, 1.6 to buy it, and then probably another 750 to 1 mil to renovate it.
We just said that we're such good builders. We could 3D print whatever needs to be fixed.
Everybody's
get it
got
all
3 mortgages now.
Yeah.
Didn't even argue with the guy.
Why don't I'd be the first person going into a building made of 3D printed bricks?
Well, we'll see what happens. Isn't Corey the one who's building that? We were joking about last time.
Yeah.
Well, he'll source it brick by brick from the right place, from the right quarry. Mm-hmm. I'd get that stone filament and 3D print each brick and brick.
Corey's all about screen accurate bricks.
They're 3D printing buildings now.
Are they?
They are. You didn't know that?
Surprised?
Yeah, they actually have giant 3D printers, and they basically, instead of using plastic for filament, it actually uses concrete, and it goes around and lays the foundation and predetermined pattern and design, and it lays it one layer at a time.
What we're saying is we get one of those, and we can 3D print a life-size, not even life-size, a building-size proton pack with the files, and then we can live in the building-size proton pack. That could be the headquarters from above.
Ooh, that would be an interesting building. Have it look exactly like a proton pack.
We could have the chimney come out the end filter. It'll be fine.
All right. Well, every once in a while I play the lotto, hoping to hit the 750 mil or 1.2 billion lotto jackpots or whatever. And if I do, I'm definitely building a firehouse for us.
Hold you to it.
Yep, we appreciate that.
I think we have a record now of it too.
Yeah, now it's
look, I guarantee
he
you,
has
if
the
I
files.
win
He could just
the Mega Millions,
that.
Oh yeah.
He's doing the editing.
I guarantee you can hold me to that. I'll keep this in. If I ever win the Mega Millions, where I'm winning like 500 million plus or whatever, and I can afford to build a firehouse for us, I would definitely do that in a heartbeat. Trust me. I would quit. Obviously, I would quit my job and I would do this full time. I need a place to store all my toys and stuff. I'm getting kind of cramped back there.
Matt, you didn't talk about your experience at Ghostbusters Day. I don't know if you want to chime in.
You cut deep, man.
just salt in the wound.
Sorry. I saw an opportunity.
All right, well, let's get this wrapped up.
Okay, everyone, that is going to wrap up episode 5 of Hudson Valley Slime Time. If you like listening to this program, and you should, we're great, You can reach out to us with any questions, comments, or suggestions for future episodes. You can email us podcast@hvgb.org. You can go to our website, hvgb.org, and see our calendar for all our upcoming events, where we'll be, find out more about us, check out pictures, pieces like pictures of us, gear, cars, everything's on there. If you are listening to this podcast and you're not in the Hudson Valley area and would like to find a Ghostbuster group for your next event, you can go to whoyougonacall.org, and there's lists of Ghostbusters throughout the whole country. I think even now international, we're starting to go with that website. And always check us out on Facebook, because we're out of Facebook jail now. We have a backup page. Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, and on YouTube.
Yeah, we're not technically at a Facebook jail. We just kind of created a backdoor to a different page.
We got to get a jail-free card. Let it go.
But another thing, too, is you can, if you like, look, we have some really cool gear. We got pillows. Steve's got a nice-looking backpack in the background there with our logo on it.
Yep,
I got
Joe's
this
got a
nice
nice
hat.
shirt.
Joe's sporting that nice shirt. We have all kinds of merchandise that you can check out, and go to our website at redbubble.com, and in the search bar just type in HVGB, and all our merchandise will pop up. We have multiple designs, and you can get t-shirts, all kinds of shirts and hoodies, backpacks, mugs, phone cases. There's, we've discussed it before, you can get all kinds of even bathroom gear and blankets and stuff. So it's unbelievable what's on there. So check.
Who's going to get that Corey McKenzie shower curtain?
I think we're going to pitch in and buy it for you for Christmas.
I don't have a bathroom for shower curtains. I
Not to ruin a surprise or anything, but yeah, check out our site for all kinds of cool merchandise. Hope you guys enjoyed our show. I want to thank Steve and Joe for joining us today. Hope you guys had a great time.
Yes, thanks for coming on and sharing your Ghostbusters Day experiences with us.
Rubbing it in on Matt a little bit.
It's fine. I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Next year we just have to kidnap him.
Shh, don't say that out loud.
That's premeditated.
Yeah, I said before I don't think Kara watches these, and then she caught me saying that because she watches them.
All right, well, again, thank you guys. We're the Hudson Valley Ghostbusters. You've been listening to Hudson Valley Slime Time, episode number 5. So I hope you guys have a great time. We'll see you soon, and just always remember, have fun and play with slime.
Okay, so I'll see you later, huh? I'll give you a call.